Travel back in time with a trip inside the Iowa's News Now vault.
This old railroad bridge hasn't been used in years. Its span over the main channel of the Mississippi was locked in the up position, up until this morning. Someone set a fire in the bridge's control house.
The bridge tender's shack burned down, and heat was so intense that apparently it melted the cables, and the Illinois side just fell into the river.
There's 400 tons of wood and steel blocking river traffic. Dozens of tugs and barges are stalled, both upstream and down. The C.W. Rushing was on its way to Bettendorf when the bridge fell. Its barge full of cement won't be delivered on schedule.
Well, it's monotonous, yes, sir. I don't know whether to classify it as being frustrating or not, but it's something we don't look forward to and don't really relish. We'd rather be moving because, for one thing, time goes faster when we move. And, of course, we're looking forward to getting off and going home eventually. And sitting around like this kind of slows that process down to a degree. And for that reason, we don't relish it at all.
The Coast Guard doesn't know how long it'll take to clean up this mess. In the meantime, it is trying to reroute barges under one of the other spans.
It doesn't look now that we'd be able to get empty barges through, but perhaps we would be able to get full barges through the span out here. They have a 190-foot width on the span. That, with a helper boat on the other side, they should be able to get at least some full barges transiting through the area.
Chris George, 2 Action News, Keithsburg, Illinois. A week ago, this abandoned railroad bridge burned and fell into the Mississippi. The river's main channel was filled with 400 tons of wood and steel, a barricade blocking navigation. To remove that barricade, a demolition team was called in from Louisiana. It placed 30 pounds of plastic explosives on the fallen span yesterday, the idea being to blow the bridge into 5 smaller pieces which could be hauled out of the channel. As the sun dipped to the horizon, a couple thousand people rose to the river's edge to watch the Big Bang. With a flash that seemed fitting this 4th of July weekend, the span settled to the bottom. To the untrained eye, it was intact, not broken up as planned. But after the smoke had cleared, the Army Corps of Engineers was able to get a closer look at the bridge that had been blasted, and they found that the span was sliced into 5 separate sections.
These particular explosives are very strange. They're very stable. They're very safe to work with, and they literally cut just like a cutting torch. Those cuts are only about 1 inch wide, and it looks almost like you'd sawed the bridge apart.
All of the steel that we cut yesterday is definitely separated. So the job we done and everybody thinks it was successful or unsuccessful is definitely successful.
The one thing that didn't go according to plan was the direction of the blast. It went west instead of east, and a perfectly good span fell along with the damaged one.
As happened, it did not move to Illinois the way he wanted it to, and it kicked a little bit to Iowa, and that did cause the collapse of the next span. We had not planned to take down that other span, but we knew full well that it could well go in before we ever set the shot off.
This afternoon, the first section of fallen steel was dragged out of the channel. All of it should be gone by Thursday, opening the river to barge traffic once again. Chris George, 2 Action News, Keithsburg, Illinois.